Something that I never put together before in my head until I read your article was we've known for a long time that if you deprive people of REM sleep, we did various studies where, we wouldn't let them dream.
Right.
And it led to profound cognitive disturbances.
Yes.
They couldn't think straight the next day.
Right.
And, but somehow there's a connection that we didn't make that to say, well, to look at how much REM sleep people are getting and to realize that will happen not just in the experimental setting when you deliberately deprive people of REM, but if people are deprived of REM for other reasons, their cognitive processes aren't going to be great.
There's no question. In some of the studies you're referring to, they're both animal and human studies where REM sleep is selectively deprived and these subjects can get all the other sleep they want. There's an interesting pattern. The REM sleep tries to rebound under pressure. It pushes back harder and harder,
Mm-hmm.
and it ends up pushing its way into the early part of the night. It displaces deep sleep, and it turns out that the REM that it sort of breaks the dam, if you will, and gushes back is poor quality REM. Well, that pattern many of us are familiar with. It's called the reduced REM latency. So we saw that in all of these research studies that deprived animals and humans of REM sleep. It turns out that the single most common pattern of sleep and dream in mood disorders, especially in depression, is a reduced REM latency. In other words, depressed individuals look like subjects who've had their dreams deprived. I know when I was in training years ago, we referred to depression metaphorically as a loss of one's dreams. And it looks like there's a literal underpinning that depressed people are losing their dreams. And the cognitive impact of this is profound. A big part of it is mediated by a memory deficit. We know that certain types of memory, procedural memory, for example, are consolidated in REM sleep. And I think memory is so much more than people think it is. It's not just a matter of reading or learning something and filing it in a metaphoric slot in the brain. My best sense of what goes on in REM sleep is it's an experiential digestive process. So in recent years, many of us are aware that we began referring to the digestive system, the gut, the actual gut, as a second brain. Candace Pert and others, of course, were discovering most of the neurotransmitters that were mediating CNS, brain processes were found in the gut. And when I was looking at it, it made sense to me because the gut has to make some very intelligent decisions, right? I mean, we send all kinds of stuff down there, we swallow all kinds of stuff, and the gut has to decide what it's going to keep. It has to sift through. It's a security system, basically. It has to decide it's going to keep this and excrete that. What the gut keeps becomes a part of us. It literally becomes a part of our physicality, our tissues, our energy systems. So if the gut is a brain in digestion, then the brain is a gut during REM sleep. What I mean by that is that there are all of these unprocessed, undigested experiences we're exposed to during the day. I mean, we move through the day pretty quickly. We can't process everything. Some of it goes in pretty easily, but there's material that then is metaphorically chewed on, swallowed, digested, sifted through, and assimilated in REM sleep. And so memory is so much more than just learning something. When we achieve new memory, obtain new memory, it becomes a part of our psychology. We're remade in the dream. It makes sense. Morpheus, the Greek god of dreams, so of course is the root of the word morph. We are morphed in our dreams. We're updated. We're redesigned, essentially. If we don't dream well, we're not digesting life experiences. And I think of this dreamless epidemic as resulting in psychological indigestion, more so even it's psychological constipation, which for me has become a synonym for clinical depression.